Schnitzelschmango writes, asks, are you satanic?
Yes, but only with women, and only on Saturdays.
Okaworu writes, interesting. Can you send me a list of your beliefs?
No, I cannot, because that would take forever. I mean, just listen to a few of my beliefs. I believe that it's really fun to go swimming. I believe the Shaw Brothers made some classic kung fu movies, and I believe restaurant pizza tastes better than frozen pizza. And that's not even scratching the surface of all the beliefs I have.
Arthrea says, hey, what type of Satanism do you follow? LaVey Satanism or spiritual Satanism?
The answer to this question is in the series itself. Sometimes I wonder if people only read the title of this webcast and actually don't view the content.
Dismalite writes, perhaps this handful of idiots aren't actual Satanists.
Hold on right there. Satanism is in the eye of the beholder and everybody defines it differently. Besides, I don't recall a single episode where I was so unimaginative as to claim to be a Satanist, because such a label shows a lack of originality. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt and continue reading this misinformed bigot's message.
And by actual Satanists, I mean the ones who do in fact perform human animal sacrifice. But there's a wealthy global network of Satanists out there that do in fact worship an entity and perform sacrifices. Satanism is a pyramid, really. The mall kids at the bottom wearing pentagrams they bought at the mall, then idiots like these guys, and up until you reach the elite Satanists who in fact worship Satan and kill children.
So this Dismalite is aware of satanic sacrificial rituals or whatever that kill people? Well, let's see some evidence. Give me some names. Why isn't it making headlines? And what mother would name her kid Dismalite? Seems to me that if you're going to make such inaccurate allegations, you might want to use your real name to prove why you're such an expert and why you're privy to such rare information.
In the previous episode, we told you that the history of Satanic Views would be chronicled. This time, we'll cover the years 2005 and 2006.
Satanic Views just didn't pop out of nowhere. And Damon, why don't you tell us a little bit about the precursors?
I've been dabbling with video cameras for decades and started making horror comedies in the 1990s. Those low-budget movies combined all the stuff that I was into. There was humor, punk rock, pretty girls, and monsters.
So, how did the rise of YouTube affect your movie-making hobby?
YouTube started in 2005, which ironically was the last year that I produced feature-length videos. I finished both the movies Martyr X and Devils, Dragons, and Blood-Sucking Bats in 2005, and I swore I'd never direct another feature-length movie. I was exhausted and certain I'd never pick up a camcorder again. Little did I know, YouTube was right around the corner.
So what was your first YouTube short that you put up on the web?
All it was a real simple shot of me playing with my pet scorpions. It was footage that I shot back around 2002 or 2003, and I didn't expect much of it. I just thought, I'd put it up on YouTube. Everyone else was putting up things on YouTube. I mean, there was no editing involved, no special effects, no script, or anything like that, but I started getting all these hits. People all over the world were watching me play with a bunch of scorpions.
Oh, so that's what got you back into video making.
I did dust off the old camcorders, but was still determined not to make any more long DVDs. But by late 2005, YouTube inspired me to come up with something. I'd seen all these boring geeks rambling into their stationary camcorders and webcams, and I knew I could come up with something more imaginative than that.
So in 2006, how did your move to Arizona cause the birth of Satanic Views?
I was glad to have made my escape from the arrogant, overpriced California, but needed new friends. I'm not one to go to sporting events or churches, so traditional social outlets were out. I knew I wanted to develop some sort of a series as an excuse to find colorful people and creative artists to collaborate with. So I used things like Craigslist and MySpace and Facebook and Tribe.net and Meetup.com to find interesting people to help on my proposed YouTube project.
So when and where was your first gathering?
It was at some restaurant in the suburbs of Phoenix called McGrath's Fish House. It was my first social gathering in Arizona and the first time I ever met Jack Martelli. It was probably in October of 2006.
So was that fateful meeting when Satanic Views got its start?
No, but me, Jack, and the other filmmakers talked about how this new YouTube thing was going to be great and that we should collaborate and combine our strengths. Me and Jack hit it off, but I lost contact with the other artists that we met that night. But the coming weeks, Jack and I met other strangers at places like the Counterculture Cafe, the Paisley Violin, and some place called the Coffee Plantation in Phoenix. By the third or fourth gathering, we were all talking about some sort of paranormal direction, and I realized that was the gimmick that I needed.
Was that when you coined the term Satanic Views?
No, we tossed around all sorts of titles such as punk rock mentality, heavy metal attitude, pagan perspectives, and more. But I was really inspired by people like Rush Limbaugh and Keith Olbermann. I was fascinated how both sides of the political spectrum would take things out of context to prove a point and make their opinion seem like fact. I'm conservative on a couple things, but I tend to be more liberal on the whole, and so I guess I'm semi-moderate. Since I was never totally left-wing or totally right-wing, I realized that I lacked a focus, an angle. So then I realized my unusual views needed a label.
Oh, so that's when you decided the label is satanic.
Yes, because for centuries, man has taken anything he wanted and made it satanic.
Exactly. What's satanic to one guy is angelic to another.
Yeah, if Christians can use Satanism as a tool, then so can I. And thus, in late 2006, Satanic Views was born. I had everything I needed, such as video cameras, a sense of humor, a cast of volunteers, special effects software, biased opinions, and horror movie props that I'd made 10 years ago. I mean, for example, the columns are made of cardboard, paper mache, and fiberglass, and I constructed them in 1999 for the movie Devils, Dragons, and Vampires. The wall banner that I made was from another video from around 2004, I think. An actress was actually lying down on it originally when I made that film, and now we use it as a wall banner many years later.
Satanic Views made its debut on Christmas Day 2006. Next time we will discuss the Young program's evolution in 2007 and 2008.
Okay, here I am at Jules Undersea Lodge, spending my birthday underwater. This is a very exotic vacation that I recommend to anybody with a sense of adventure. Jules Undersea Lodge is located at the Emerald Lagoon of Key Largo Park at 51 Shoreline Drive. For more information, you can go to info@jewel.com or go to www.jewel.com. It's been a very fun vacation here in Key Largo, Florida. It's not cheap, though. It was very expensive, but I recommend this to anybody who is interested in exotic animals and unique settings. You get to look out of the hotel through these 42-inch round windows, and there's lots of unlimited scuba diving as we explored the areas of right around the lodge itself, which is called the Emerald Lagoon, looking at a lot of old architecture. I mean, a little what's the word I'm looking for? Artifacts, and some boats and docks and swimming under things, and we also got to meet some of the friendliest shrimp that I have ever seen. Now, I don't eat seafood, and this certainly makes me want to make sure that I never ever do eat seafood, because these shrimp must have been attracted to the light, but they were eager to climb on our hands, and they were just really friendly. As you can see, he's climbing on the video camera right here. But I pretty much find amusement in the smaller things in life. Even insignificant animals like shrimp are totally cool. I would never hurt one or eat one. But we did plenty of other good fun stuff for my birthday in Key Largo, Florida. Being a tropical area, it's probably my favorite part of the United States. And we did a lot of beach activities and some other fun. We went to Coral Castle here. And one of my favorite places there is John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park. It's open from 8 a.m. until sunset, and it's located on 102601 Overseas Highway. And as you can see, I just sunk into the mud. It's very soft ground underwater there. But another thing I really like about it is that I got to climb on the mangroves and then get back into the water. And I learned as we were at John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park that I really love to snorkel in mangroves. It was almost like a religious experience for me. It was something I'd never done before, and it was just a lot of fun. Now, of course, the water is murky, and mangroves don't always smell that good. And they're kind of dirty, lots of dead vegetation. So it might gross some people out. But I had an absolute blast. It was fun exploring basically what are undersea jungles. And the mangroves are very important for the ecosystem, and a lot of smaller animals are raised there until they become big. I mean, for example, I saw a lot of barracuda there, mainly baby barracuda, because once they're large enough to be apex predators, they leave the mangroves and go look for bigger prey out in the open ocean and on various coral reefs. But it was just a fluke. We went to John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park just because we had nothing else to do that day, and it turned out to be a lot of fun. But we did not just do oceanic type activities while we were there at Key Largo, Florida. We also went to a rather unusual zoo called Monkey Jungle, and they have a very unique way of letting guests feed the monkeys. You put the food in these metal buckets, and the monkeys pull a chain to feed themselves. And so that was a nice way to kill a couple hours, so that was fairly amusing, I guess. So I recommend Key Largo for vacations. Oh!
What follows are a few errors from some of those wacky Christians.
We did not make up any of these mistakes. These are actual bloopers.
An edition of the Good Book published by Barker and Lucas in 1632 accidentally omitted the word not from the seventh commandment. Therefore, it was printed as, "Thou shalt commit adultery."
84 years later, thousands of copies of another Bible were printed before somebody discovered the command to John, "Sin no more," was printed as "Sin on more."
In more recent centuries, we've had holy typos, including the Songfest was hell at the Methodist Church Wednesday.
By the way, let's give credit where credit is due. All this botched holiness came out of Richard Lederer's hilarious book, Anguished English. If you have a sense of humor, I recommend you buy this collection of accidental assaults on the English language. Anyway, let's continue.
The choir will meet at the Larson House for fun and sinning.
Remember in prayer the many who are sick of our church and community.
Here's an interesting church notification that says it all. Due to the rector's illness, Wednesday's healing services will be discontinued until further notice.
It's neighborly to say hello to random strangers, so one church offered some friendly advice.
Smile at someone who is hard to love. Say hell to someone who doesn't care much about you.
Say hell. Let's try that.
John is going to buy Girl Scout cookies, but he can only say hell. They're going to take his money, right? I mean, they're not going to refuse him.
Hell. 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 Help. 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 I got Thin Mints out of the situation, so I'm happy.
I was trying to...
Are you trying to cue me?
No, I was trying to videotape without looking. I didn't want it to be obvious.
Help. 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 Help.
She's gone. She disappeared.
Help. Oh, help. 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 Oh, help. I know that's rough. Help. No thanks. I choose help.
Okay, I think it's a day.
Gonna restore Jesus.